Hello, welcome to J. Marie Yoga. Let's start by coming into tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Doing a couple cycles of cat-cow on an inhale, looking up, shoulders down, belly drops. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, look to the belly button. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding. Feel free to move around, do whatever feels good. I like to go back and forth and side to side. It feels good in my body. On your next exhale, when you round your back, see if you can move forward and backward, bringing your bum close towards the heels. And then we're going to arch and then do the same movement. Moving on, coming up onto our knees, let's step forward with the left foot. Both knees are about 90-degree angle, right hand on your hip. You're going to tuck the tailbone and just send the hip forward a bit. You'll feel the stretch in the right hip flexor. You can reach that right arm up and over for a bit more of a stretch. Let's come back to center, bringing our hands to the ground or to blocks. Straighten that left leg, getting a stretch in the back of the hamstring. Hinge forward at the hips, pelvis towards the ground, and you're just getting a bit of movement here, moving back and forth. Last stretch here. And we're going to bring that left foot back and then send the right foot forward. Repeating the same thing on the right side. Left hand on the left hip. You're just going to tuck the tailbone and send the hips forward slightly. You'll feel that stretch in the left hip flexor. If you need more, reach the left hand up and over. Coming back up into center, and again bringing the hands to the floor or your blocks, straightening out that right leg. And then sending the hips forward, pelvis towards the ground. And again, shifting forward and backwards, getting a little bit of mobility here. Last stretch before we bring that leg back and move on. Bringing the big toes together, you're going to tuck all 10 toes. And if you can't do that, just reach back with your hands and tuck the toes. And then you're just going to sit your bum onto your heels. If this is too intense, you can grab a block or pillows, lift up your knees, and just put that underneath your knees. It'll elevate it and make it a little easier. If that's not enough, just raise the block a little bit more, adjust however you need to. From here, we're going to reach our hands up to the sky, keeping our biceps by our ears. And then we're going to bring the hands, we're going to basically clap our fingers into our palms, trying to make as much noise as you can, trying to bring as much speed with that as possible. It should burn, and your fingers should start to slow down here. And that's it. We're going to shake it out, put our hands down in front of us, untuck our toes, and tap the tops of the feet down onto the mat. Let's come to stand at the top of our mat, just making sure that you have your blocks available. Feet are hip width apart here. We're going to step back with our right foot, staying on the ball of the foot, up on the toes, bending that left knee so the knee is stacked over top of the ankle. Reach the arms up to the sky. That right leg is strong and straight. We're going to twist open to the left. Coming back to center. Let's move on into Warrior Two. Opening the hips. That left knee is still bent. Right leg is straight, arms extended. And from here, we're going to straighten both legs. And we're going to hinge forward into Trikonasana, triangle pose. You can have your blocks here if you need them. If you don't have much balance, you can also keep your gaze down. With strength in the legs, come all the way up, back into Warrior Two, shifting back into Warrior One. Hinge forward, and we will repeat that on the other side. Stepping back with the left foot, staying up on the ball of the foot, bend in that right leg, reaching the arms all the way up. I forgot to, but you can take a twist here, opening up to the right side. If you did twist, come back to center, and then we will transition into Warrior Two, dropping that left foot, keeping that right knee bent, arms extended. And let's transition into triangle pose. Both legs are strong and straight, hinging forward at the hips, extending both arms. Again, if you need the block, grab it. Now let's come back up, transition back into Warrior Two, and then transition back into Warrior One. Stepping forward. We're going to open up our legs, taking a wide step away from each other. We're going to come into wide-legged forward fold, so your toes come in towards each other slightly. Heels are out. Hands on the hip with a very strong straight back. You're just going to hinge forward halfway. Holding here, this pose is quite challenging, keeping your core engaged and strong. Holding here for a few breaths, but if you want more of a challenge, reach one arm forward at a time. And if you want even more of a challenge, reach both arms forward. Hands back on your hips, and then we're going to hinge all the way down. Use some blocks if you can't quite touch the ground, but otherwise, if you can, hands in line with the feet, pulling yourself towards the ground. You can always grab the big toes, doing this properly and pulling yourself down that way. We're going to transition into Skandasana pose, so we're going to be doing it fluidly, not really holding any one side particularly, but if that's what you want to do, feel free. The first one is basic, just keeping your body upright. And then you're going to transition onto the other side. Again, the purpose of this is just to get some balance, keep yourself upright, getting a little bit of openness before we start to transition a little bit more. Coming back up and going back to the other side, reaching the right arm back, left arm up. Come on to the left side, left arm back, right arm up. Repeat that on the other side. You can do the same thing, or if you want to do a full bind, do a full bind here. Releasing, coming up onto the left side. Again, if you want to do a full bind, do that. Coming back up and going into center, we are going to bring our right hand in front of our face. Left hand is going to go up to the sky, trying to keep your hips level. Nice twist here, pulling that left arm back. And let's come back to center, switching sides. Left hand in front of your face, right arm all the way up to the sky. Trying to stack the arms, keeping the hips level. Release, come back to center, hands on your hips, using the strength in your legs. Come all the way up. And bring your feet in. Let's come up to the center of your mat now. Feet are about hip width apart. Arms up, sit back into chair pose. Hands at prayer. Let's challenge ourselves, coming up onto our toes and slowly lowering down. Coming up onto the toes, then slowly lowering down. Seeing if you're able to do it with control, without your knees squeezing into each other, without the feet squeezing into each other. If it's too hard, just do one foot at a time. And then we're going to hinge forward, coming to relax our upper body, bending the knees if you'd like. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Before we move on, planting your hands, stepping back with both feet, come into chaturanga, keeping your elbows in nice and close. All the way down, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, coming down, pushing up into downward dog. Since this is our first downward dog, feel free to keep a big bend in the knees, keeping that tailbone going up to the sky. From your hands all the way to the tailbone, you want one flat line. I like to bend both knees one at a time, deeply. Looking forward with your hands, stepping forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, standing all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping the opposite feet back. And lowering down. See if you can push yourself back up now. Lift the right leg. See if you can lower down chaturanga, push yourself back up, lower the right leg, lift the left leg, push yourself down into chaturanga, and push yourself back up. Lower that left leg. Chaturanga one more time, holding as long as you can. All the way down. Inhale, lifting up into baby cobra or cobra, upward dog, whatever feels good for you. We're going to push back from chaturanga into downward dog. Again, feel free to bend those knees if you need to. Big deep breaths as we hold our downward dog here. For a challenge, your hands are shoulder width apart. We're going to tap the top of the head in between the hands. Repeating that about 5 to 8 times. From here, we're going to transition back into plank. Holding it here, we're going to come onto our right side. Left arm reaching up to the sky, really push those hips up away from the floor. Come back to center. Come onto the left side, reaching the right arm up to the sky, push the hips away from the ground. Come back to center. We're going to do that again with a little bit more of a challenge. If you want, you can try to lift that left leg as well as the left arm up to the sky. And then come back to center and try it on the other side, lifting the right arm and right leg up. Coming back to center again, into plank before we go down into chaturanga. Feet spread nice and wide. Hands are as wide as the mat. We're going to inhale, lift our chest up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting the chest. Head is the last come up. Exhale, lower down. Feel free to get a little bit of movement here. Do whatever it is that feels good for you and your body. Coming down, bending the left foot, grab with the left hand. Bend the right leg, grab with the right hand. See if you can grab the ankles and then flex the feet. Bring the knees together, feet together. Pull the shoulders back towards each other and pull with the legs away from your body. Use the strength in your legs to pull your chest up off the ground. Breathing here, even though it's hard. And relax all the way down, bringing your hands underneath your forehead. Just relax a moment. Now your right arm is going to come out, right shoulder and the elbow are in line, and the wrist is in line with the elbow. Lifting the left side body up off the ground, you're going to stretch that right front shoulder, chest area. Coming back to center, we'll do it on the other side. So again, keep the shoulder and elbow in line, elbow and wrist in line. Lifting that right side body up off the ground. And come back to center. We're going to come into child's pose, big toes touching, and the knees go wide, bum goes to the heels. Drop the chest and your forehead down to the ground and reach the arms. Big deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. Let's come up and move on to our final pose, Shavasana. Making your way all the way onto your back. Make any adjustments you need to get completely comfortable. Grab a pillow if you need, a blanket. Feet are wide, your palms are facing up to the ceiling. Gently tucking the shoulders underneath your body. Relaxing your jaw. Relax the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Relax your forehead, your shoulders. Roll your head from side to side to relax in through the neck. Just laying here, allowing your body to feel all the sensations, focusing on the breath. Slowly bringing some movement back to the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take a stretch and bring the knees in. Roll onto the left side of the body for energy, right side for relaxation. Push yourself up to a seated position. Give appreciation to yourself for showing up and taking a yoga class. Appreciating your body for being able to move. Thank you for taking your time to practice with me today. I hope you have an excellent day. Namaste.